Hello friends, welcome to day 4 of staying consistent in the midst of chaos. As you see, another change of setting. Today was another day of moving, and the day after tomorrow will be another day of moving. But we are still showing up. Today's video is going to be a short one out of two reasons. One is that, to be honest, I'm quite tired and I still haven't finished my work. Now is 10:49 p.m. And the other reason is that even if I wasn't tired, the lesson or insight that I have to share is short. So, how can you stay consistent without effort? The title of this video will be something along those lines, and it will not be clickbait. I mean, you need effort to drink water, to have a meal, so I guess everything involves some level of effort, but here is what I have in mind. When you're genuinely busy and struggling to stay consistent, you don't have to get involved in the main activity of what you want to be consistent in. You just need to stay in touch with the overall idea. Let me put this in more concrete terms. The easiest example is creative pursuits. So let's say there is a big essay that I'm trying to write, or a bigger project like existential bootcamp that I'm creating. Well, if I have a day or two or three where it's so chaotic that I cannot sit down, for example, let's say the existential bootcamp that I'm creating, let's say that I cannot sit down and don't have time, energy, focus, whatever, to sit down and write the curriculum, write the lessons, or later record the lessons. Well, what if I don't have to do that to stay consistent? What if I have to just, as I said, stay in touch with the main idea? What is the main idea? I'm creating something. I'm creating something specific that's, in this case, existential bootcamp. How about I spend 15 minutes brainstorming? How about I spend 15-20 minutes reading a book that I anticipate can hold some value that I will extract and use in the existential bootcamp? How about I listen to a online lecture that's on one of the topics that I will be covering in existential bootcamp? So again, I'm not engaged in the main activity. Main activity is writing, but I'm trying to be careful with this. I will acknowledge that it takes effort to listen to the podcast. I will acknowledge that it takes effort to, for 15 minutes, brainstorm and without regard for structure and style, just vomit ideas onto paper. Yeah, it takes some effort. But can you really tell me that's the same as sitting down to write a full lesson of what I'm trying to create? If you're trying to learn how to play an instrument, and there is a day where you either don't have access to the instrument, you don't have the energy to play, to go through the full lesson, you don't have time, can you listen maybe to a lesson? Again, I'm not playing any instruments, so I'm thinking here, can you listen to a person who is giving lessons on this instrument talk about certain intricacies of playing this instrument? So you're not even following the lesson as in playing alongside, but there is some information being shared about the activity that you want to be engaging in. Let's find another example. You want to be making YouTube videos. Okay, so what does that consist of? If it's not a video series like this, if it's more structured videos, it's scripting, brainstorming title and thumbnail, recording the video, editing the video. But what if you cannot do any of those? Can you spend 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes listening to and properly educational video on making YouTube videos. Properly educational one, not some entertainment. Not listening to a success story of a famous YouTuber. No. Finding a video that holds true educational value. Can you take 5 minutes to brainstorm ideas for videos that's still staying consistent? So not the main activity, but you're engaged in the main idea. In touch. I'm calling it being in touch with the main idea. Propose a different name for what I'm trying to describe here. But again, coming to the same statement, not necessarily doing the main activity that requires most effort and time, but doing something that's related to it. And it can be as passive as listening. I mean, passive kind of, but you should be listening with full attention, whatever that lesson or lecture is. So that's what I have. That's what I did today with my essay, for example. I did some more reading on it to make sure that I'm using certain psychological terms from psychology properly. And I read the first draft. So I wrote one sentence or two sentences to add to the first draft. So it's far from being major improvement in the volume and style of writing. But I stayed in touch with it. That's it. So you can stay consistent. Is it really zero effort? I don't know. But don't say that it was a clickbaity title, because can you really complain if I tell you, yeah, you can stay consistent by doing something that's 100 times easier and less time consuming than the main thing? Let's be real here. So yeah, friends, that's it. I have to finish some more work and another day of showing up. I'm satisfied with it, but it's time to finish up and get some rest. So thank you, and as always, stay strong, love life, and never feel sorry for yourself.